It's getting to the point now we are just desperate for Saka again.
Even when Saka's back,
just a bit more.
Who's going to play down the middle?
Yeah, but he just adds. He is our goal. He's the talisman. He's the one that gets the goals and the assists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
true.
prior to him getting injured, he was our highest goal scorer, assister, the lot. It's just like we need to ease him back. He can't get injured again this season.
That's freaking true, G-Star.
Yeah, it is freaking true G-Star. But we're missing a winger, our most important player. Chelsea were missing a 10, their most important player. But Tom, what is the hardest position in football? Is it the wing? Is it the 10?
Well, should we break it down?
Oh, let's break it down and rank the hardest positions in football.
Do the lights.
Do the lights. That was beast mode transition. There we go.
That was a fucking transition.
That was cool, Theo.
I do think, though, Tom, we're both attacking players.
I am not a footballer.
We're attacking. He's a beast mode footballer. We grew up. It doesn't matter if you're a footballer or a Sunday league. It doesn't matter. You are born to be an attacker.
Yeah. Well,
you see the light. You see the game through an attacking set of eyes.
Yeah, the shit ones defend.
Well, does that get represented in your list? Because I'm going first this time, Tom.
Yeah, you go first.
So we're going to start with...
Well, should we just let them know? So we've done this on 8 positions. We've gone goalie, fullback, centre-half, 6, 8, 10, wide player and striker.
Yeah.
So 8 is what we think is the easiest. Number 1 is what we think is the hardest.
Beast mode.
Now, it's no matter what we rank it, we're going to be wrong. Let's face it.
No, I'm 100% right. I'll die on my hill.
There's a right answer.
Okay, yeah, of course there's a right answer. What am I talking about? 8, I've got fullback.
Wrong.
Yeah, correct.
I put 8 fullback because certain teams rely on them more than others, but in general, if your fullback gets replaced, it's not the biggest deal in the world. And also...
You're not directly in front of the danger zone, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is,
The danger zone!
Nice, that's cool, Theo.
Okay.
It's quite literally the easiest position in football. If you're a fullback, grow up.
As Gary Neville once said.
You do literally have out of play, help right there. Like you have a circle.
Everything's
of
in front of you, and like even if you've got a tricky winger and you get beat on the inside, you've got a centre half and a 6 covering you.
Also,
play a real position.
Also, Tom, there's a reason why most fullbacks are failed in other positions.
They're usually failed wingers, aren't they?
Yeah. This was a really close one for me. I didn't know which way to put it around. I've got 7 is the 8.
Whoa.
Or the 6.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dictating the game.
Are you joking?
I'll tell you why.
That's crazy.
Is it?
Over
Is it?
A little bit.
Is it, Tom?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's mental. And then this is basically your centre mid, your heartbeat of your team.
Yep.
You think is the second easiest position on the pitch?
Yep.
Are you regretting saying that out loud now?
A little bit.
Over a winger.
Basically, I've got my 3 midfielders, the 6, 8, and 10. I've got 7, 6, and 5.
What?
Yeah. So like,
no, what? I can't believe you're saying this.
That's crazy.
Your centre mids, other than a fullback, you think centre mid's the easiest position?
Think about what, like, say Rodri. When you take them out of the team, they crumble.
What
And we
are you
always talk about that on
about?
the show, how they can't live without this one player in this position.
You have to be the fittest player on the pitch.
yeah, all right.
The
I hear your
cleverest,
point.
the
and I-
smartest, technically
I did
You have
this
to
capable.
one
be
minute
technically
ago, yeah.
sound. You have to do both ends of the pitch. What the fuck are you on about?
Tom,
Everyone's everywhere around you. There's no safe.
It's a 360. How on earth? That's arguably. I've got. I'll tell you now. I've got 8 in the 3rd hardest position.
Okay, well, we didn't ask that right now. But it's more the fact that maybe I've made a mistake then. I'll hold my hands up. I would like to change my list.
No,
you
you
can't
change your list.
I
You
can't
have to
change my
continue.
list, so I'm
So
gonna have to firm it.
you've got 8, 7. So the second easiest you've got 8. The third easiest you've got what 6 or
6.
And then so you think the 10
because
is
he's the creative player. So that's
but
the hardest
10s
out of the
don't
3.
even exist anymore, really.
They do a little bit.
And also a
But
10.
do they not exist because they're so hard to play?
No, a 10 tends to be actually a luxury player. Playing the 8 is much harder.
But do you not think though, if you're a luxury player and you are the one that they rely on to create the goals, which is the hardest thing to do in
True,
football.
but
do you see what I mean?
But
that's why I put that.
You
the
also
hardest
do no
out of the 3.
defending.
Well, that's not always the case.
It
though.
is. Did Mesut Ozil, who's one of the best 10s ever, have to defend? No. Do you think that is an easier role than what Declan Rice does? No way.
But again,
The physical demands on Declan
no,
Rice.
I get the physical demands and everything, but also if you don't score, who gets the blame? It's the striker
striker.
and the 10. for not creating. Like Ødegaard, for example, this season is not creating as much, and he's getting a lot of the blame.
But he doesn't really play the 10, does he? He's more an 8, Ødegaard. Like,
but he fulfills that role of being beyond striker. Do you know what I mean? But there's an argument to the reason. But I also hear your side, so I'm counterbalancing with that.
I think you've had a stinker.
Potentially, but also I'm going to have to stick with my guns because we're not.
I think you've had a stinker.
We'll move swiftly on from it.
So that's just you sent them into gone. Next.
Here we go.
I can't believe you said
4,
that.
I got centre back.
Oh, so the wing is with us. So you're saying the wing is the second hardest
Jesus.
position in football?
Yeah, dude.
It's basically it's the fullback further up.
Yeah. Third.
And also you always have the help from the overlapping fullbacks. So you always got help.
A winger I put as third. Because they're the ones, again, who are in charge of creating opportunities for your striker. But you can about the physical demand. They're running up and down the wing 24/7.
They barely ever track half of them. Don't track.
My
Half of them don't get back.
My wingers do.
Fuck off! A winger is like tactically and like IQ wise, is such an easy position. It's so all you have to think about is
overlap.
I maybe have to track one runner on the outside of the pitch where realistically 9 times out of 10 I'm not going to be in trouble. No, not half the time. They're
Salah.
But Salah's not a winger, is he? Salah's like a second striker.
Salah is a winger. Saka is a winger.
But their positions aren't, by definition, that hard.
I think they are,
Not compared to like a centre midfielder. Like a Roy Keane, that position is so difficult to do because you have to do both ends. All a winger realistically has to do, and don't get me wrong, the best ones are brilliant and they're great to watch. A winger realistically doesn't have any defending to do properly. And all they have to do really is beat their man one-on-one, which most of them are rapid and tricky, so they can do that and then put a ball in the box. That's it.
I hear your point, right?
That's all they have to do.
I do hear your point, and I understand where you're coming from as a point of footballing intelligence.
Right.
But also at the same time, right?
Big words.
Messi, I know they play multiple positions, right? But you say Messi winger, Ronaldo winger, striker, Neymar winger.
Those are anomalies. Those are crazy anomalies.
But we're not talking about
to be able to beat a man and create.
No, you're talking about the anomalies. You have to talk about the position as a whole.
That's my view.
No. The reason you're going to contradict yourself here is you're just naming the best players of all time have played wide or whatever. Okay, fair enough. That's because those positions are more fancy and, to be honest, are easier. So they have to do less. But you put goalie above wingers on your list, right?
Yeah.
But the goalies aren't the best players of all time. But it's a harder position because there's more jeopardy. There's no jeopardy in playing out wide. Where's the jeopardy?
I'm not necessarily talking about the best players of all time. I'm saying the ability to be able to beat a man and create a goal, score an opportunity, I think is extremely hard.
So do I. But as a position, it's not that difficult, is it?
You're talking about like the best people in that position ever. If you look at the position in a whole, like not all of them are at that level.
No, but Jacob Murphy, for example.
But Jacob Murphy
I feel like I love Jacob Murphy, but it's evidence that if he can be so successful in a Premier League side by being on the wing, that shows that it's an easier role to play. Because he was a player who was of a lower ability for a while, but he's managed to excel in that position. But he would never do that in centre mid.
I think the big argument with the positions is, so like you look at Joe Linton, right? Joe Linton does really well in midfield, but Joe Linton has also filled out wide and can play off the left and do a job, can't he? Anthony Gordon could not do his job in centre midfield. He just couldn't do it. Look at Trent. Everyone thought, let's play Trent in midfield. He can't do it because you've got the 360. You've got to defend. You've got to attack. You've got to do everything. As a winger, what do you have to do?
So what's harder, a 6 or an 8?
I personally think an 8 just because you have to go up and down. But 6 is just as hard because the 6, you're the connector.
I can see your point there.
But we're talking about the roles. Like, don't get me wrong. Most of the best players of all time are attackers. That doesn't mean their position's harder.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I do get what you mean, yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
And then because you put centre back before that, and I feel like centre back.
I think centre back's pretty easy.
I think centre back's pretty easy, but you're dealing with the best players on the pitch. You're dealing with quick, nippy, fast, aggressive players, and you have to stop them. When normally you're a big fuck off guy who's a bit slow.
Centre back has to be one of the harder ones.
No,
I think
not
so. I put it
hard.
at 4. Because you're dealing with the strikers.
But
your
the thing is, when
keep it out.
Right, finish your list.
So I've got centre back 4, winger 3, goalie 2, striker 1.
Okay, yeah. So we'll do mine.
Centre back are the ones they are watching the whole.
I know, but
everything starts from the.
Everything's in front of you,
but
though,
you're
Theo.
a unit as well.
When you like Van Dijk, right? The ability he must possess to stop an Erling Haaland or some of these players, it is exceptional.
True, but
do you see what I mean? It has to be considered to be one of the hardest.
Someone with his the way he's blessed in his physical aspects and his brain and stuff. And obviously, he's one of the best centre halves I've ever seen. We're not taken away, by the way.
No, not at all.
Even Trent. Trent is a brilliant footballer. But we have to put one position.
Can I explain my reasoning behind it? So in my head, obviously the midfield thing, I do agree with you, but I came from the point of view of what is the hardest thing to do in football? Score goals.
Yes.
So what is the second hardest? Stop them scoring goals. That's how I saw it. So that's why I saw goalie and centre-back 2 and 4, striker and winger, because they're the ones creating the goals. Do you see what I mean?
I see what you mean, but I think it's flawed because then the midfield is the easiest then because they technically do neither.
Yeah, and that's the issue.
But they actually don't.
But I understand your point for midfielder.
They do both.
Yeah.
So I've gone...
Goalie has to be second, in my opinion. Because if you make a mistake...
It's a goal.
Your career can be done. Look at Karius.
Yeah.
I know you made a couple, but do you know what I mean?
He made more than one.
Is there an argument that it is first only on the bounds of... did you listen to the Kasper Schmeichel interview? Where essentially he was saying, like, say a striker misses a chance, you can go and impact the game and make up for it. Where a goalkeeper has to wait to make up for it. You have to just be ready. You could have had a howler, and then you wait 20 minutes and you just sit in on it.
But also,
to answer your question, yes. However,
a goalie can't...
I just can't do it.
And also, Lou, a goalie, hypothetically, it probably doesn't happen very often, but hypothetically speaking, goalie can stand there for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Do nothing.
I think mentally it's a harder game because you have to...
Striker, putting the ball in the back of the net, in my opinion, is the hardest thing to do.
I think mentally it's a harder game for a goalkeeper because you have to keep yourself switched on for long periods of time.
Well, you could argue that with a striker. If you miss 2 chances, mentally, you've got to be able to get over that.
Yeah, but
if a striker misses an open goal... the blame goes on them.
What I'm saying is, though, as a striker, you're in the game, like you're running about your mind. You sort of like focus where keeper you are just sort of stood there, and you have to keep yourself dialed in.
That's what makes
all
the best
the time.
keepers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's a good point.
But that's why I think that's why they're 1 and 2.
So
I've got this is definitely the best list. I've got fullback the easiest, then wide player. I've gone the 10 next because I just think it's a dying position. It's just a dying position now, and teams can go without 10s. You see, not many teams play without and out 10s anymore.
Could you argue, to play devil's advocate, the reason that is because it's such a hard position to play?
No, it's because you can't have. Like I've said, 10s in the past have been luxury players. Like in the modern game, the way people press and the way people are athletic and all around the pitch, you can't have a carry. You can't carry someone. You can't have an Ozil. That's why they don't exist. And don't get me wrong, they're my favorite. Like that was my favorite position. They're my favorite players to watch. But in the modern game, they just can't exist.
But take Arsenal for example. Like when Partey's in the 6, Rice is in the 8.
Odegaard doesn't read, but Odegaard's up and down. He's not a proper 10.
But would you? I would always look at him as
even
a 10.
Palmer goes and picks the ball up in his own arm.
I know. But I'd still, again, I don't know if it's old school of me, Barry Barclays of me, but I would consider Palmer as a 10.
Yes,
but I'd say Odegaard as a 10. Bruno Fernandes is another example.
Yeah, but
he can play in.
They're modern 10s.
Yeah.
Do you think they play like Ozil did?
No, they don't. But
they're nowhere near, are they?
You'd still consider them a 10. That's I'm like, it's like lost in translation a little bit.
That's just that position. But even so, like players like Odegaard can really. Their job, with the ability he has,
his job is to create all the goals.
It's not really, but his job isn't that difficult. Like Odegaard can amble back if he wanted to. He doesn't have to do like a Rice and be up and down and be all around the pitch. Like, I think that's a lot harder to do and still have the technical ability to break lines. And Odegaard can kind of go missing. 10s can go missing. That's why I've put it there. Then I've gone centre half because again the game's in front of you. I just think if you've got half an IQ and you're big and strong and got a bit of speed, I think you find the game pretty easy. Then the 4th hardest I've gone with the 6. Then the 8. Then second hardest goalie, first striker, because that's why they paid the big bucks, because it's the hardest job to do, is stick the ball in the onion bag.
That's beast mode.
That list.
I'm glad we agreed on 1 and 2.
Yeah. Honestly, Lewis does make a good point, though. Like, I think there will definitely be people saying goalies would be harder.
Goalies would say that.
I think a lot of fans would say that.
But I think it's easy. They're definitely 1 and 2.
Would you also say, as obviously we've played, as everyone watching would have played football growing up, we didn't play in goal. So do you think it's also one of them where you look at I could never do that. So you overrate it a bit.
I can't dive to my left, for
It was.
example.
Do you know what you were saying as well in the interview?
Yeah.
It was a really good interview actually. He was saying how like now a lot of keepers are like turning to it when they're like they've been an outfield player until they're like 13 or 10 or whatever, and it's like right, you're not going to make it here, but keepers need to be able
Because
to play
you have to
with
be
the
so
ball.
good on the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
now,
yeah.
so they're like they'd rather transform you
A
into
lot of
a
these
keeper.
keepers you see on like Instagram and stuff, I know they're not professional, but a lot of these keepers you see on Instagram are close to professional and getting like these contracts and stuff. Like all of them, technically wise,
You've
are
got to
just
be, ain't you?
sensational.
You've got to be.
And that's the standard nowadays. Like it's mad that it has become even harder.
But would you not say there's been a drop off in like shot stopping and actual goalkeeping for So I think there's been.
think it's so hard
I think there's been an
to-
increase in technical ability with their feet, but I think there has been a drop off of
Yeah, I think
goalkeeping.
But it's so hard to compare. Like unless you actually look at the stats, you're just doing it all on eye. Like you look at like Pickford as a shot stopper is incredible. Raya, good shot stopper. There are goalies out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like I think that's an easy argument to say because we reminisce on goalkeepers like Czech, who was actually good with his feet, but like
He wasn't that good with his feet. He's a bit stiff.
but tall and
He
stiff.
kicked it like him.
We can't kick.
Whoa.
So.
Exactly.
You haven't seen me in my prime, man.
I
Wait till this ACL's recovered. I'm going to
I would
ball.
be very intrigued to see what the comments think of the harder position in football because I definitely think it depends on what position you play as a kid. A lot of the time.
See, I don't, but I have played most of these positions other than centre half. So, and I can tell you now, fullback's the easiest. Like it just is.
I played a game at centre half once.
I could never play centre half, but
Almost
that's just
scored.
because I'm
Almost scored.
I'm just
I lasted 1 minute at centre half and ended up going striker.
yeah. I mean that, but that's where you have to be objective. Like I couldn't play centre half and I couldn't play in goal, but I'm not gonna say that means they're harder than playing up front just because I've played up front. Being up front is harder, like because you have to score. Scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in football. Not fucking catch a ball.
Catching a ball is second hardest though.
Yeah.
I would be very let us know your thoughts in the comments. It'd be great to get a good discussion
But
going.
is the actual aspect of goalkeeping, is the skill of goalkeeping hard, or is it the jeopardy of goalkeeping
Can I,
Jeopardy.
as a goalkeeper,
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
as a goalkeeper, can I speak on this?
Oh,
one?
yes. Sorry, yeah.
Pet spec.
You might remember my the best charity game performance ever from Pet Specs.
Yeah.
I actually think, believe it or not, I think goalkeeping is like 90% luck. I think they just, I swear to God, you put your arms out like this. Nick Pope's save in the final, he just went like that and he just hit it. It's all just fucking make yourself big and a bit of luck.
You say that right. If you were in goal, that goes in.
No, I just...
No, that goes in.
No, but you could also
better
argue
spec.
that
Their
about
reaction
strikers.
time.
How many goals does strikers
There's
score
no-
when it takes
what
a
I'm-
deflection? Or
What I'm saying is, there's so much more technique, isn't there, over
Yeah.
striking a ball than just fucking going.
Do you not think though, like the ability and the bravery to put your head in at a striker's feet, and like that counts for a lot.
who's putting heads in? What are you on
Keepers
about?
do.
You know,
that.
of course they do. They put their heads in at strikers' feet to collect the ball and stuff. They go.
Okay,
Put their hands there, not their heads. They're not going with their heads, are they?
Of course they do. Yeah, but they go hands and heads like that.
You're acting like Will and He did on the
There's
charity
bravery,
game.
and it's more down to judgment, isn't it? It's like, do I go out
That's
here?
a hard
It's
skill
like,
to do.
yeah.
No,
do I-
goalkeepers are like mentally unwell. It's idiots who go in goal.
Well, yeah, they always it's the age-old story, isn't it? Like the goalies
and
are.
they usually have big cocks as well.
I knew you were going to say that.
They are the mental ones at the clubs.
That's beast mode.
Yeah.
Should we
I know
wrap it
a
there?
story about David James actually. When we did you see the penalty shootout in the Soccer Aid warm-up?
He's not right in the
last
head.
year. You know, he was in the Soccer Aid warm-up. He was like going on TV to a penalty shootout. Decided he got the home and away dressing rooms. David James spent 2 hours in his hotel room researching everyone's penalties on like videos and like previous clips and stuff like that.
Did he really though? Or
Yeah.
Did he really? Or did he
Did
just
he?
say that?
I'm not lying
I'm
on that
put it
one.
the wrong way.
No, I'm not lying on that
Cool.
one.
Yeah, I think he just said that.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to keep.
Even the fact that he said that is getting in people's
I think-
heads.
I think he's trying to be like-
Or was he joking?
I think he's trying to-
I've sat in my hotel
Mate,
room for
he's
2
getting-
hours watching YouTube.
What he wants is
He's
like
living rent-free in many
the
people's heads.
celeb fans and stuff like Theo to go out and start telling that story about him, so
Yeah,
people to
yeah.
think like David James, what a professional.
He's a good goalie, to be fair. Very good keeper.
Oh,
Right, please rate us 5 stars. We never say that on here.
Yeah, rate us 5 stars, drop a like, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll be back next week for the international football special. Which
Oh,
should be
well, yeah, that's
good,
going to be fun.
Beast Mode Brigade.
That's going to be freaking beast mode.
Brigade.
G-star.
Exactly that. And as always, don't go changing.
Adios.